when Warren was asked about AI, I think a year or two ago at the AGM, he said people will still be greedy and stupid. Doesn't matter what the technology platform is. He's seen technology come over the last 60 years and people still aren't being long term value investors. So I don't know. I'm not sure that it's as over as Guy Spier thinks.
I don't think it's over at all. I mean, maybe it'll end one day. I mean, there's a couple of really big shifts in tectonic plates in investing, and the rise of passive or index investing and ETFs is
Yeah.
huge. And Spears is right to talk about LLMs and being able to have even more information at your fingertips. And he talks about not needing analysts anymore to work for him. So yeah, all those things are huge. But however, there is still always anomalies, and that's what value investing is about. It's about finding something which is worth more than the price you're being asked to pay for it. That's an anomaly.
Yeah.
So things like CBA, Combank, it is overvalued, but it's still held in every index fund because it's the biggest stock in the share market. So holding passive funds in overvalued markets is a mug's game long term. And
Mm.
eventually when a market works that out and trades that away, it's probably going to be a buying opportunity for value investors for stocks like CBA when the pendulum swings the other way.
Yeah.
And also too, like those ETFs, I think I talked about this a little while ago, but index ETFs tend not to hold the small caps. They sample the small caps. So the way that the ETF works is that it has some big partners who are always comparing the price of the ETF to the underlying stocks in the index and trading away the arbitrages. So if the underlying stocks are cheaper than the index ETF, then they buy the underlying stocks and sell the ETF and vice versa. And that's what keeps the ETF hugging the index. But a small cap is a really small driver of that kind of arbitrage. So they just don't get traded by passive funds. Even though you think you're buying the index, you're really buying the top stocks in the index. And that means that for small caps, and I don't know what size it what's the cutoff, but there's still huge opportunities in the bottom end of the index, maybe even the bottom half of the index, to be able to find things which are undervalued that aren't being moved by index funds.